Hello everybody, I got another image to work from Miss Charlotte, I guess it's Stinger, if I'm saying that right. Thank you, Charlotte, for sending me an image to play with. This one is going to be fun. Let me show it to you. So Charlotte sends us this picture. Okay, look how fun that is. They look like they're having a blast. So what would I do with this image? Okay, well, like in so many of the other images, I'm gonna first of all go just see what happens if I go to my why is that not showing up? Maybe it's because of the type of raw file that it is. Let's go see if I can find out why. Nope, not showing up, so I'm gonna have to do it manually. Okay, well, that's not a bad idea. Let me just show you. Here it is, all reset, completely reset, nothing done to it. One of the first things I would do is look for some white balance, but I tell you, those skin tones are looking pretty good, and though, you know, the water and the greens and that kind of stuff, so I'm not gonna mess with that. I'm just gonna simply add a little bit of vibrance, a little bit of saturation, just to kind of make it a little bit more colorful. I'm gonna then start with the exposure and ask myself, where is the right exposure? Somewhere right there, just a little tiny bit of contrast. Highlights down just a little bit, shadows up just a little bit, whites down just a little bit, blacks somewhere right about there, and just a little tiny bit of clarity. Okay, then I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna zoom in right here. Okay, so my buddy here, compared to her skin tone, he's got a lot of redness going on. So in a situation like that, I would come over here to the color mixer, reds, and I would tone down those reds just a little bit. See, I can take the saturation, I'm in saturation mode, take the saturation of reds down just a tiny bit with the orange too. Then the luminance, I'm going to bring the red color up and the orange up just a little bit. Now the rest of that I'm going to have to play around in Photoshop to get that to the rest of the way. Alright, back to the whole image. And I always like a little bit of vignette. That's too much. How about right there? And I'm starting to like that. Okay, cool. So, feeling like that's done? Sure, done. Let's now convert it inside Adobe Bridge, Tools, Photoshop, Image Processor, 1, 2, 3, 4, from Bridge, same location, JPEG, Quality 12, Run Action, Workflow, Portraiture First, Run. Okay, so what I'm doing when I'm running this first little bit, putting a little tiny bit of soft all over this image. In another video, I told you how to make sure that your horizons are perfectly straight, if you want your horizons to be perfectly straight. And in this case, I do. And it was that you take, I always have to go find it because I moved this thing a lot. Where is it? I put the, there he is. No, that's not it. Looking for the ruler. There he is, the ruler tool, and something that you want or know is straight, like this horizon right here. You draw with the ruler tool a straight line. Then you go image rotate arbitrary. Let's see if this image is straight. It was almost straight. Look, almost perfectly straight. That's okay. Then we're gonna make sure that we crop in just a tiny bit to make sure it's there. Now this image feels very centered, so I'm going to kind of make sure it's sitting right in there. Very good. Loving it. Okay, so now we've got this image done to this stage. Oops. Okay, and so now I told you, again, you know, you don't really have to mess with the eyes because obviously their eyes are closed. But, you know, he's got this crazy red pink skin going on. So open up Hue and Saturation. That's Control or Command U is the shortcut to get there. Change to anything other than Master. I know we're going to be playing in the red area, so I'm going to click red. And then I'm going to click on something that's uncomfortably red, like this ear. Okay? So now the top line is the color that it is. The bottom line is the color that it will become. So I can reduce the saturation, so it's taking out some of that red. Now, I know from experience that you do not want to go to the right because that turns it blue, which is weird. It's at, oh wait, no, excuse me, I got that backwards. You do not want to go to the left because that turns it pink. You do want to go just a slight bit to the right, and you see how that changed his ear from that weird reddish color to kind of more of a normal skin tone, okay? Let me reduce it a little bit more. Move it just a little tiny bit. You can go too far, so be careful. Now let's see, let me bring the lightness down just a ever so teensy bit. And in case you go too far, I always like to do that history trick. All right, this case, plus 15, minus 18, minus 3. Let me go before and after. Yeah, I like it. All right, and that history trick is you open up your history palette and you click on that hue and saturation state that you just made, and then you back up one and you get rid of it. Now I can go in and paint at different degrees, like at 50%. I can paint back in how much of that adjustment on his ear and on his face I want to put in without touching her skin. So just like that, I was able to take and tone down that weird red ear of his and get it to a more closer skin tone, okay? So these two people do not seem to have too much as far as, you know, blemishes and stuff. I see she's got like a little tiny bump right here, so why not? I'll get rid of that. Little bump. She got a little bump on her hand. And let's see, all in here. I'm seeing some grain. I think that's because you shot this at ISO 1000. And you know, I'm sure there was a reason you did that. Now in his clothes, I see he's got a little splash going on in his clothes. So I'm just gonna kind of de-splash his clothes. Just a wee bit like that. Okay. I mean, it's not perfect, but you know what? It's better than it was. Couple of little bumps on her legs. Let's go ahead and get that right. A little weirdness in the knees. Let's get that right. Devein the foot. Ha! That always cracks me up because, I don't know, it sounds like I'm fishing or something. Okay. Very good. Back to the whole image. Yes, liking that. Let's see. What else? Oh, yeah, I know what I was just about to talk about. Is it appears to me, and again, like I said, I think that's because you shot it at ISO 1000. Now, whenever I have a situation like this where I get this kind of, this funky grain kind of thing, I run my sharpen. Now, you're going to say, wait, you sharpening it first, you're adding more grain. I know. I run my sharpen, okay, like that. Now look at that. Whoa, he put tons more grain in there. All right, then I undo it by Shift Command F. I fade it back. I take it back to nothing, and I add just a tiny bit of sharpening to it, which actually does increase grain, but then I run Imagenomics Noise Wear on it. And I leave it just at the default setting. And watch what that does. Takes out the grain. Then I run sharpen again. Okay? And fade it back a little bit. So, now, let's go completely back before we did all of that. This is straight off of your camera, straight off the way I was playing with it, and this is after my few little steps. Straight off, few little steps. And you see that it sharpened it up. It got rid of some of those dots and stuff. Sharpened it up and made it just a little bit more fun to look at, in my opinion. That's just me, though. All right, let's see. I think blue water is always better than green water. So I'm going to show you another neat little trick. Let's go here to any one of these, hue and saturation, anything, and then click in the water. All right, the beautiful thing here is that it's not going to mess with skin, okay? So I'm going to increase this light from this line this way is the gradual fading to nothing. So I'm going to increase that fade a little bit. Same thing over here. Increase the fade a little bit, staying away from the reds and the yellow area. Now watch what happens with the water and the greens and all this other good stuff. I can make it, now remember, yes, I'm messing with her clothes, but that's okay. We're going to come back to that. Just looking at the water. Is it going to make the water better? No, it's not. But you know what? If she said something about, I wish I had a green dress on, that wouldn't be hard to do, would it? Or I wish my dress was deeper blue. That wouldn't be hard to do either. Okay? But it's not doing enough to the water for me to justify it. I can pump up the saturation of it maybe a little bit. Lighten it? No. Darken it? I don't know. Let's see before and after. Before, after. I guess it's a little bit better. All right, so I'm going to go with OK. Do the little history trick again. Paint from that history state back up. Use my history brush 50% so I can place it exactly how much I want. And I'm just going to do a little bit here and a little bit there so that it's just a little bit more bluish, greenish looking, a little bit better. All right, good. Now, anytime you do an image like this, clothing can benefit, in my opinion, from a little bit of liquify, which is Shift Command X, and it opens up liquify. I like the push tool, that's the first one, and I like the pressure at 15%. So I can take and push in here, push in there just a little bit, take his clothing and his behind just a little bit better, soften up that pooch belly like that, round out his hiney. All right, starting to be good. Good, good. Maybe this arm soften just a little bit. Slim up that leg just a smidgen. All right, that's enough. And okay. Yeah, watch this. Before, after. Before, I'm going to go with after. They look like they're a little bit tighter couple there now. All right, add just a tiny bit more vignette. Burn tool, highlight 30%. Just a little bit, not enough, not much, because the environment of this image is one of the fun things to look at. And then run my portraiture action, which then my perfect soft action, click skin, run it, and like that. This couple can, since they don't see their eyes and stuff, we can soften them up a pretty good bit. A little bit of warmth, contrast, a little bit of levels adjustment. Hold down your Alt key to get that levels adjustment to do that, to be able to see which pixels you're affecting. And okay, let me see. Go back to where I was before and after. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, so let's go completely before and then completely after. Completely before and completely after. Not bad. I kind of like it. Okay, so I hope, Charlotte, this helped you. I hope you enjoyed the little retouching session that we did. Again, just as a reminder, Charlotte Stinger, if I'm saying that right. Okay, very good. Thank you. And if anybody else wants to send an image in, contact me. Thank you much. Y'all have a great one. Bye-bye.